crazy moment. Right behind me here we have the bed. Cathay Pacific and Singapore Airlines, two of the world's best airlines, and I was lucky enough to fly them both in first class. So even though Singapore Airlines has this flashy seat, there are some benefits to a more typical first class configuration like Cathay Pacific has, and they're very well known for their first class product. So in this video, the two of them will be battling it out head on to see which is best, Singapore Airlines brand new first class or Cathay Pacific's latest first class product. Well, make sure you keep on watching to find out. There might be some surprises along the way. Alrighty, so let's start with the obvious, the seat. And this does not include bed mode, just the seat itself. So first, let's look at Cathay Pacific. Their first class is configured in a 1-1-1 configuration in a 777, which is insanely spacious. The seat feels so wide, there is plenty of room to just move around, so much storage, and I literally think two people could sit next to each other in this product. Meanwhile, Singapore Airlines truly has to take the trophy for this one because they have the most spacious first class product in the world. They have just 6 suites here on the upper deck. Even Etihad has 10 or 11 apartments in this space, and it's just remarkable what they've done with the space. There is so much room. You could do yoga, whatever you want in your suite, and there is plenty of storage. And now for the coolest part, in my opinion, the thing that separates premium cabins from economy, the bed. Both airlines have fantastic beds, but let's start talking about Singapore Airlines. Obviously, it's incredibly unique and flashy to have a separate bed from your seat, and it's really cool to be able to go from having a meal in your seat to just chilling out in bed, then going back, having another bite, watching TV, and then moving into bed and watching TV as well. And the bed is long enough for me, it's 6'2". The only drawback is that the bed actually isn't so big. It's not super wide. It's a lot thinner than your normal single bed that you'd have at home. So when it comes to Cathay Pacific, they actually have an advantage in this category. Given that there are only 3 seats across, their seat is so wide, you could seriously fit another person even with the seat in bed mode as well. Not only that, but their bedding is absolutely incredible, which granted it was on Singapore Airlines too, but the bed on Cathay Pacific is just fantastic and it wins this category. Let's start talking about Cathay Pacific. It's very unfortunate because in an otherwise fantastic product, Cathay Pacific's food is really a letdown. Sure, they do have caviar in first class, but other than that, their regular food and their vegetarian food just isn't up to par. Most bloggers will say this, and I'm sorry that I have to agree, but Cathay Pacific really needs to invest more in their catering. It just isn't such a special experience like it's supposed to be in first class. On my flight from Vancouver to Hong Kong, for example, I was served quite a mediocre meal, and the worst part was that both my breakfast and my dinner were quite similar, just containing some basic tofu, things like that, when you would expect more creativity in first class. Meanwhile, in Singapore Airlines, just on the 3-hour flight from Hong Kong to Singapore, I received a meal that was even more incredible than what I got on my long-haul flight with Cathay Pacific. And I've said this before, but I really think that ordering vegetarian is such a good way to tell how seriously the airline takes its catering, because if it has low quality bad vegetarian meals, that tells you something about the quality and thought they put into their regular meals as well. I also am really impressed by the champagne on both airlines. Both Cathay Pacific and Singapore Airlines offer Krug champagne, which retails for about $300 per bottle, but Singapore Airlines gets even better because they also serve vintage Dom Perignon, which is also around $200 to $300, making this a champagne shower. Service. This is an area where the Asian airlines truly excel, and you will pretty much never have bad service on Singapore Airlines or Cathay Pacific. However, as always, there are degrees of good. I have to give a disclaimer and say that I have only flown each of these airlines once in first class, but based on my experiences and also just based on the reputation of the SQ girls, I can truly say that Singapore Airlines has service that is second to none. So far, they have the best service I've ever had in first class, and I truly felt very friendly with the flight attendant. Like, she was so adaptable to the type of passenger, so it wasn't just this snobby or very pretentious way of behaving. She adapted to my personality and the TV shows I was watching, and it ended up just being very chill and fun. For more details on the Singapore Airlines service and what made it so special, check out my review of that flight. Meanwhile, on Cathay Pacific, on my first leg from New York to Vancouver, unfortunately, the service was quite mediocre, not too impressive for first class, but on the leg from Vancouver to Hong Kong, it was good. I really liked the flight attendants, I remember them fondly, but I wouldn't say, unfortunately, that it is in my top 3 service experiences. When it comes to amenities, Cathay Pacific has a really nice amenity kit from Aesop. I liked the moisturizer so much in this kit that I ended up buying it in the Aesop store a month later in Tokyo. Other than that, the entertainment system is also fantastic on Cathay. They have loads of episodes of my favorite shows. I ended up getting hooked on Breaking Bad again, like I said, because they had an entire season of it. Meanwhile, Singapore Airlines unfortunately did not give amenity kits on the flight from Hong Kong to Singapore, although that is quite understandable since the flight was so short. However, it would have been nice to see that. What I did get, however, is some slippers. They were nice, but ultimately I can't judge it too much. Hopefully you won't choose an airline based solely on the amenity kit though. On the entertainment side, Singapore Airlines also has an incredible entertainment system. I'd say it is marginally better than Cathay Pacific just because they have an even wider variety of shows, and after flying these two airlines, I'm truly spoiled. I went back to flying a European carrier and I couldn't believe how limited the options seemed. Now, this last point won't really make or break which airline has the best product, but it certainly makes a difference in our lives as frequent flyers who don't necessarily have the biggest wallets. As you know, I almost always pay for my flights using miles and points, and that was no exception. For both these flights, I paid exactly 70,000 miles through Singapore Airlines for the Singapore Airlines flight and through Alaska Airlines for the Cathay Pacific flight. But just think about that for a second. I paid 70,000 miles for a 3-hour flight in Singapore Airlines' new first class, but I paid 70,000 miles for 21 hours in Cathay Pacific first class. So I got 7 times more enjoyment, pretty much, for the same price. If we have a look at revenue fares, this is interesting as well, because if we compare the exact same route from Tokyo to London, I'm actually quite shocked by this. So obviously this is not a truly fair comparison, but I did check fares from Tokyo to London over several dates, and the prices are pretty consistently the same, where Singapore Airlines first class one way comes out at about $10,500, while Cathay Pacific's first class is all the way up at almost $18,000 one way. If you want to learn how I paid for these flights with miles though, stay tuned, because I will be making videos completely going through my Cathay Pacific first class booking process. And even cooler, you can now go to my brand new website. This is the first time I mention this, nonstopdan.com, and read about how I paid for my Singapore Airlines first class flight. So I hope you enjoyed the comparison. It was a lot of fun to do, and of course, I love both these products so much. They're both absolutely incredible, and I feel so fortunate that I could fly them both, even if I only paid with miles. So really, I ended up paying about $50 for each of the tickets, which I'm pretty sure you guys can afford too. But thanks so much for watching, and I will be having 2 sort of follow-up episodes to this, so make sure you are subscribed to those, because here comes a little trailer for what to expect in the next parts.
So a very, very good afternoon. Good afternoon, right?
Yes.
Welcome on board. Many.
This menu comes in two parts. There's an a la carte part, and on the next page you got is the lounges and grill.
Looks cool? Well, it all went downhill from there. Stay tuned.